because you bring that up as well, it's crazy how well like propaganda can work in certain situations. Because like there are so many women in history that did great in positions of power, but you like for like the past however long in the States, they wouldn't let you know that.
Yeah,
So it's like now everyone's like, oh, there's no way, and it's like, bro, there are like warlords who could stomp your ass from from back in the day. Like
it's not, and,
bro.
And the thing about that is, you can't. We live in a day and age of a lot of feminism, a lot of hardcore feminism, which is very unhealthy. But that's a thing that's only in the U.S. And the reason because of who was in charge made it into that kind of situation. At some point in history, we fucked around. Let's take it as gender separate. Let's take all men. It wasn't all men. It was a specific collective of men, and you know exactly the type of men I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But as a whole, men fucked around in a specific period of time with the wrong one. And like, I'm not even trying to be kind of funny. Some man fucked around with the wrong one, and it caused a chain reaction to where we are today. But it was fine back then for what it stood for. Now it's in a completely different terminology of toxic. I was telling Ethan about there's currently feminist scientists. There's about a group of 13 or 14 of them who are currently trying to find out how to make females as a species for human beings learn how to reproduce asexually.
Oh, yes, I've heard about that, actually.
Just so all men will be useless at that point. And every section is that not okay for the human species as a whole.
Actually, I'm firmly a believer of scientific progress.
Now here's the thing about that though. I wouldn't have an issue with human beings being able to evolve to the point where they can reproduce asexually. That is an evolutionary chain that would have eventually happened. But it's more of they're trying to force it to happen for the pettiness that is current.
Yeah. But I'm a firm believer of the ends justify the means. So if these women who want to believe in their own self-power so much that they want to remove the male species from their lives, progress enough in this technology that it becomes a thing, regardless of how petty it is or whatever they did it for. We now have that technology because that technology is ours.
That's very
men are going to use that technology. Female, that's just. I'm sorry, we're going to use it too.
It's kind of like with war. You know, wars aren't good, but a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
I wouldn't remove World War II because we have computers.
True.
Also,
right? Those big ass things that we needed, that took out entire rooms.
And a lot of medical shit.
A lot of shit happens.
Let me tell you about
bad
that.
reasons. But
there was a woman who decided to dress as a man for 2 months.
Oh.
She lived as a man. She dressed, talked, ate, and worked as a man.
She wanted to prove that how much easier it was to live as a man
than as a woman. That woman, after those 2 months, wrote an entire book, and she killed herself.
She committed suicide.
Because she wasn't
used to how men are treated.
Damn.
She couldn't hang.
Because we are used to it, right? Like when men are complimented by like women, right? We take it to heart.
You feel yourself in a whole different level because I bet you just got done being called ugly like an hour ago.
Bro, we get like 4 compliments a year. And that's generous. That's generous.
It's that. And you know, that's also the reason why male friendships are so strong, right? Like when to the point where it's like
how terrible it is when a male friendship gets split up over a girl.
Right, it's truly horrible.
I just had like 6 topics I could go into from this, but keep going.
Yeah. But it's crazy how we are we are treated like as men. I saw this video of a feminist woman. I'm sorry, feminazi woman. I feel like there are feminist women. And I feel like there's feminazi women. Okay, I saw this video of a feminazi who recorded her like 5-year-old son, and she was like, "I have to raise this man, this being who's going to turn into a man, and he has a high chance of being a rapist." What?
That's ridiculous.
Don't say that about your own son. Just 'cause you
What?
do.
Why would you say that?
That's high-key ridiculous. Oh, what? Why is it? But here's the thing. Why is it high chance because he's a man? Like there aren't female rapists.
Yeah. Like,
right. That's
People
it's truly
tend
horrible.
to forget those kinds of things because men don't talk about it. You know why? Because of the whole you're a man, suck it up.
yeah.
Suck it up. That's
You're a man. How'd you even let that happen to you to begin with? Oh, you're a man. You knew that shit felt good. Stop lying.
Yeah. You know, come on, don't act like you didn't enjoy it. Type
So
shit.
when someone,
Bro, really?
So when you then go and then try and talk to that man that you keep on saying suck it up to, and he's the most heinous being on this planet,
And
don't say anything.
and it's not just like
Oh wait,
with,
yes, you still say something about that too.
I thought I saw this. And that's not just with like blatant sexual assault. I'm gonna get a little serious. When I was a youngin, I was like continuously over. I won't go into depth. I'm just going to say.
I was about to say if you were gonna go, I mean, I might as well have.
Well,
Oh,
we should
yeah,
save
I
it for
actually
another
didn't tell
episode because you gotta go soon, and I don't want to keep you here too long.
Yeah.
When I was younger, for like over the course of like multiple years, I was molested by 2 girls, and because of how people act towards guys with stuff like that, I grew up being like, I kind of lost my virginity already. I already had sex. And then I didn't realize until I was like, probably not really until I was about 18, 19 when I was in my first relationship. I sat down, I thought back to it, and I was like, I couldn't see it while it was happening, but that fucked my life up in so many ways, but I could never, my mom doesn't know to this day. I couldn't tell her that. There's so many ways that fucked up my life, and I could not realize it until it was too late. And that's because they don't, like, you know, they're like, what do you mean? That's great that happened to you. You got to have sex.
What,
Isn't that
men
awesome?
can't be raped.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
You
Like,
had sex and you're complaining about it? Are you serious?
You're the man.
Yeah.
No,
like, oh, bro, dap me up. Yeah, sex. You got molested.
It's
like,
it's different. It's because a lot of men try and say, "Hey, bro, lucky you," all kinds of shit. But that's because you, as a man who have been raised as a man, have come to the standard that, oh, if a nigga has fucked a female or got fucked by a female, oh, then
That's always a good thing.
That's
Yeah.
always a good thing. No, it's not.
No.
It's not good at all. Again, I won't get too deep into my shit. I'll do that later.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
I'm be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and say that as a man I feel like that everything is against me. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I can recognize.
The vast majority of things are though.
I can recognize that, just like being a man, I've been raised the way I am, and so it's gotten to the point where we're used to it, and that's fucked up to say. That is fucked up to say, cause I sit here and I'm content.
It's not even.
And I bet a lot of men are just content with their lives and happy with their lives, and something like that can and would continue to happen to them. Because what are you going to do, bro? Are you going to sit here and cry? Who is going to listen to you cry?
Here's the thing, though. It's not even just being used to it. You are born, bred, and raised to have no choice but to be used to it.
Yeah.
Anything, even especially in this day and age, God help. I'm going to give you 4 statistics real quick that I told Ethan yesterday. 76% of men have now been found to be alone and dying alone since 80 years ago. 32% of men have committed more suicides than women have in, I think it was 97 years. There is a lot more there's a lot more successful, wealthy men giving all their wealth away to someone who's on the street, who's a man, because they can't get with a woman or refuse to because of how women in this type of day and age act. Not all women. Let me point that out.
Yeah.
This isn't about trashing women. That's not what we're doing.
Because we just got done talking about how much
We love women.
Absolutely.
Very much.
It's just as with any group of people, you have your bad.
You
people.
have
Bad with the good.
but it's not even. It's a vast majority that's so. I fear for what the human species will look like in the next 20 years for the US, again, for the US, because it just doesn't, this kind of shit doesn't happen everywhere else. It just doesn't. Everywhere else doesn't have this issue that we got. I fear for what I couldn't bring a child into this planet right now. There's no way.
Fuck that.
What am I gonna teach him?
Yeah.
I can't. There's nothing if I had a son. There's nothing I would be able to teach him right now that wouldn't get him hoed
Absolutely.
by another man or by a woman.
Yeah, you're okay to show your feelings. I showed my feelings, got my ass whooped. like, no, you can't.
Did you
do
guys
anything.
hear about the statistic where wives or girlfriends were asked, and it was like, if your girl or if your woman or if your wife sees you cry, she then holds less respect for you.
I think I did hear something.
And
like
and of course there's always like the genuine ones where like, of course I would hold the same respect, and there are those out there, but it's to the point where I'm not talking about the genuines. I'm talking about the vast majority in that statistic that actually held less respect for that man for showing his feelings, and that's why.
And then we'll turn around.
That's why we don't.
And then turn around and ask the question why men don't talk about.
Why don't we
Yeah.
open up? And
I literally saw a tweet from a girl being like, yeah, I got with this really hot guy and we were together for like a few weeks, and then he cried because like his mom died or something, and she was like immediately was turned off and broke up with him. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That is like so unbelievably heartless.
No.
It's terrible.
I will say this: while it's not right, I do believe that wholeheartedly, that it's not right that we are raised the way we are. Unfortunately, I do think it's necessary. Because
At least
I don't
in this country,
yeah,
absolutely.
If we were in a perfect world where we could talk, explain, and go through our feelings emotionally without being looked down upon, then I would teach my son, my future son, hey, it's okay to cry in front of her, but right now it's not. So it pains me to say.
But that's also the wrong answer too.
There's no good one.
There's no.
It pains me to say that I will still have to teach my son, hey, you gotta man up, because that's going to happen to you.
I'd have to teach my kid, hey, suck it up until you can't.
Until you're in privacy of your own space.
And if you can't do it away from people. And if someone,
that's horrible. That's horrible that I'm forced to teach him.
Unless you went throughout the entire totality of time to be able to 100% trust that you believe that you could be able to cry in front of somebody else, and even then still don't do it, because you'll never 100% know until it happens.
And well, because even if there's someone you feel comfortable crying in front of, like someone you're really comfortable being emotional towards, especially like at the age we're at now, it's so hard for me to even cry sometimes because my body is conditioned to be like, don't ever do that shit.
Don't do
it's
it,
like, that's
period.
so fucked. But to end on because we only got like 30 minutes, so we do gotta kind of get going. Yeah. I will say I feel like, at least personally, I don't talk to a lot of people, but I feel like more people are noticing that trend, and I feel like more people are trying to be aware of it. More women are trying to be like, no, like legitimately let people open up. You know, don't be doing this shit. Of course, how quickly that'll move, if it'll move, I couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
Think about it, right? And think about the way females are trying to live their livelihoods, which I won't go out of my way to bash. Shorty, get your bag.
Dang.
Get your racks up. That's cool.
Yeah.
But when you stop caring about everything and everybody around you, and for the sake of being able to get said bag, and then you wonder why the fuck you're alone when you're at 40, and then like you see everyone else, all your other friends are with somebody, don't say shit.
I told him the same exact thing on why I think family is the most important. I feel like after if you decide, and I'm not gonna sit here and trash your lifestyle. If you decide that you want to focus on your business or on your career or whatever right now, that's fine and that's okay. But I feel like there's a point where you not have to, but should put that aside for a bit. Because when you have all your money and your riches,
Exactly.
when you have your many houses and your mansions, when you have your cars and you have your Gucci bags, when you can stunt on your girlfriends,
where your heart at?
What happens when you're 80 and that Gucci bag doesn't look good on your flabby skin no more?
What happens
when those wigs don't cover up the
what
wrinkles?
happens when you're laying on your hospital bed and there's no one around it?
But you can pay for those hospital bills.
But the hospital bed will look good.
But
Yeah, the hospital
you're gonna have
bill
a
look
whole
great.
room to yourself. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be luxurious. But you gonna be by yourself. What's the point of that big ass room if there's nobody in it?
That's true.
Now, I'm not saying go out your way to have everyone be around you, because there are snakes in the grass. You wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Choose wisely.
who have two heads
And
when you think you cut off the one.
and mind you, like, as someone who, as of right now, doesn't want to have kids, I agree. Like, cultivate legitimate, deep connections, and that's what, like, an example of where capitalism fucks up sometimes is because so many people are so obsessed with that bag, they don't care about others, and that's a problem. That's a problem.
It's a
Because,
high key problem.
like, I want systems to take off. I would love for it to go to the farthest heights it could, but
me too.
I wouldn't want to lose like Leon or Dantes over it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's very important to cultivate connections and be okay with loving people. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to do things just for
Facts.
money. It's
because
all right.
like
Enjoy the small
again,
times. The little
again,
ones.
like throughout the years, I'm not. Again, you can't see her because you're not going to. I thought you had a friend, didn't you? But this one over here, this one is my life. Real shit. We can get as high as we can. Real talk. Y'all are my bros for real. I've known y'all since we were children.
Gats.
On playground sets, bro. Real
We
talk.
lads.
Shit. Nigga, I'm the one who came up with the name.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. One day we'll have to actually talk about like the origin of some of the shit.
Origin of systems.
Because no one really. Well, I guess some people might be able to guess, but most people probably don't know what the name is.
Why it is what it is.
Certain like teasers and where they came from and all that shit. I would love to do a deep dive on the creation of systems one day. That could honestly be its own video, but
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
But yeah, like it's like, bro, I will never let systems become a brand. I'm not gonna do that. It's a movement. It's a lifestyle that I want all of us to be able to get in. That's why I made it and had all of you be with me with it.
We're not soulless.
Like, exactly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ever want this to get so big that it blows this up along with it. I don't got the time for that because life's too short.
Facts.
Life is too short. I could get a whole Lamborghini. I have a mansion, everything, this, that, and the third. But then it's like, damn, when was the last time I called Tobias for real and said happy birthday to him?
Yeah.
Like, damn, when was the last time we actually all went out to eat?
Listen.
I feel like.
Damn,
I'm
how
sorry.
long have I been out of town? I actually haven't been home with my girl.
Yeah. I feel like what I would really mostly want systems to be is to be something that can support us enough that I can live my life.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sitting down, all right, so I'm looking at this chart and I noticed that
You're not funny enough.
Quarter 4 didn't work out. Stanley, we're going to need to move you to this sec. Like, I don't want none of that shit. I want to be able to have enough that we can afford to do shit together even outside of this. Because right now, I live in, like, constant anxiety about, like, my finances and all this shit where I'm just like, if it's not making me money, I can't do it. I have so much trouble, like, having fun. That's why I haven't made a video in, like, almost a year. Because, like, on my channel, I mean. Because I'm like, it's not doing anything for me. Thank you. I'm like, it's not doing anything for me except for, but, like, it's fun, but
It's not paying my bills.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm 20. I just realized this is right in the middle of my face on the camera. That is rough. That is really rough. But
Wow.
that's all right. Whatever. No one needs to see it right now. It's a mostly audio based thing, anyways.
Yeah.
But I would love for us to be able to live, like, have this help us just live comfortably, where we
Yeah.
can do shit as friends. Because like lately, even like with Leon and Jontez, I haven't hung out with them in a while, and like when I do, it's such a sparse occasion now. Because I'm like, I'm sorry, I just have to do something. Like I need to, I'm kind of in the situation of being obsessed with the bag, and it worries me because I'm like, I don't want that to fuck shit up, but I also don't want to be a deadbeat at like 25. We were actually talking about it in the car.
Yeah, literally,
like on the way here, we were talking about it. So it's rough.
Because like the thing about getting to the, I'm never will I ever say don't get to the bag.
You gotta support yourself.
Chase the bag with your mind, not your heart.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
I have been told recently that a saying that when you are so fixated on something that you're having your livelihood be fucked up, it's because you're so mentally focused that you living right now, your brain will always be in control of your heart, to where your heart won't be able to be in control of anything else. You're thinking harder than you feel.
Yeah.
It would be lovely to spend Christmas with my wife, but I have to go to the company event.
Gotta go to work.
Yeah, sorry, honey. I know you haven't seen me in 2 weeks, but this business trip is very important. I don't know what
I'm
to say.
sorry, I'm gonna miss your birthday, Samantha.
And now you have everything else. Like, oh, is he really at work, or is he with somebody else?
Oh, wait.
You come home. I don't really want to do anything. Now your wife has less feelings for you, and now you're wondering why. You
We're going through that divorce.
You can't go to work and complain. You know why? Because you got to chase the bag. Because if you don't, you're broke.
Wait a minute, you had our child while we were gone? I forgot you were pregnant.
But moral of the story is, if you decide to, you can have the choice of doing everything alone. All right, you can be the singular cog that pushes the wheel. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the reason why there's always multiple cogs and gears in each and every machine is because they depend on one another. They have to be structurally sound. They have to be with you. They have to be close. You have to be able to lean and push and pull on one another, right? So cogs and gears, at the end of the day, don't try to do it all by yourself. You're causing more problems for your health, yourself, and your family than you need it to be. Depend on one another. Find those people you can depend on to actually depend on them, and live a life that has meaning. At the end of it, when you're at the deathbed, make sure you have someone there holding your hand.
And with that, guys, we're gonna have to bring it to a close. Make sure that you, just like we are saying, continue to spin around inside of whatever mechanism you need coherently. Make sure that everyone around you use that as your oil to keep moving.
Because only through that will the systems of the world change.
Yep.
We're all just cogs in the system.
All right.
Peace!
That was
Oh!
beautiful. The fact that you even segued into the cogs and gears, I didn't see that coming. That was perfect.
Yeah, that was nice.
beautiful.
That was nice, wasn't it?
Ah.
Yeah, boy.
Poetic.
Yeah, boy.
The one thing that's so hard about recording some episodes is